Hello everybody, this is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo, and I've been busy with a lot of things lately, but one of them is taking seashells that either myself, or a friend of mine have found at the beach. And today I'm going to continue with doing that. I want to make me a necklace that I will be able to wear to the beach. Husband and I just booked a cruise, and we're going to be going in August. And I want a necklace that I don't necessarily have to take off. But I got to figure out which seashell I want. All right, let me get these out of the way. Aren't they pretty? These are longer. Now I could adjust them to be shorter, but they're a little big for what I want. Isn't that pretty? I thought this was really cool. And some of these are unisex. Here's one I've wired. Hang on, let me see if I can fix this lighting. Okay, I think that's a little better. Lighting is really bad in here. My mom and dad built this house. It was in the early 80s. And at that time, it was not proper, I guess you could say, to put overhead lighting. So they have 0 overhead lighting, and hence not very good lighting. Anyway, back to this. So I could do it like, get like a shell fragment and do it like this, but all this wire will not do too well in the salt water or pool water or even in the shower water. So I think this one may be a little big. This one, I like it a lot, but I want it to be more white. I've got these that I could choose from, but they'll make really good earrings, so I'm going to save them for earrings. I'm leaning toward this one, but I'm going to dig around a little bit more and see what else I have. All right, I found some more. These are just too big, though, I think. I want something really small, but these would work nicely. How about that one? Oh, decisions. Which one would you pick? Would you pick this one that has a little bit of gray in it, or this one that is very white? Now I'm going to pick out my cording. Now, I have this wax cording. I have a ton of different colors. Let's see. I think I want to tend to go more toward a neutral color, like a brown. I mean, that's really pretty, but I want this to be able to go with a lot of different things. I could go black. Let's see. I could go this tan color, which I like the tan color a lot, but I'm not for sure that's what I want to use right now. I could go, I could go white, but I'll have to tell you something with white. It doesn't stay white for very long, so that's probably a no-no. I am looking for my gray. That's what I'm looking for. Here we go. All right. Let's look through these here. I don't know. I'm going to keep the black out. I don't think I'm going to do black. The gray would go really well with this, and it's very neutral. It also would, oh, you know what? It'll go with that or that too. This one would go with that. All right. Now I got to figure out what I want to do. I think I'm leaning toward this tan color with this. I think that's what I'm going to pick out. But you know what? I'm really curious, what would you pick out? Like I said, which shell, the one's got a little color in it, or the white one, and then which cording? You got the tan, the brown, and the gray. All right. These are really easy to do. You do need a ruler. You do need some type of a light source. And I think that's all you need. Very simple. So these are adjustable. You need to make sure they can go over your head. So that's 12 inches, another 12 inches. If I was to do that, it does go over my head barely, and I got a small head. But the other thing is you have to take into consideration you are going to be tying several knots, so that's going to take up some room. So I'm going to go another about 6 inches. So that is about right. Now, it may be a little tight for some of you, but for me, with my tiny head, it works perfectly. Get these scissors to work here. Now, if you want, I'm not going to do this. You can do multiple strings. On these, I actually have 3 strings, and it's a little thicker. Let's see, this one just has 2 strings, but today we're just going to do 1 string. So I'm going to put the 2 ends together, and I'm going to feed that. You could do this 2 different ways. You could either do it this way, where you feed them both in there like that, and then you pull it through the loop, or you can just feed one end, just one end. But with both of them, once you get them in there, you're going to want to tie a knot. I'm just going to show you what this looks like. Okay, and that's not even going to really be seen once you tie this knot. And you just feed it all the way down there, like so. And then I just pull the ends like that to tighten it up. And you know, you could be done right now. Just put it on around your neck and tie it. But I'm actually going to do a sliding knot. I want this to be adjustable. And let's see, before I do that though, go to the ends. And I'm going to tie a knot. And then tie a knot on this end. So I have 2 knots there. And then I'm going to take my light source and burn the ends there, okay? But before I do that, I'm going to tie a sliding knot, which is just a series of square knots, okay? When you do this, you want to make sure these don't get twisted though. You want them to be side by side. And I always use black, kind of my signature color. I like to do the knot a different color. I mean, I have a pretty popular bracelet that I sell in my Etsy shop. It's a diabetes awareness bracelet, and for the knot I use red. So I like to have the knots be a different color. So I'm going to cut about 4 inches. And the sliding knot is really pretty easy. So you just tie it on there. You tried to get these to be even. They don't have to be exactly even, but you don't want this one like way here and this one like way out here. So as even as possible. Okay, and like I said, make sure these are not twisted. So then I just kind of make a little loop. And then it goes over and under, and then bring that up. Okay, then we're going to do it again, but this time the loop is going to be on this side. Over, under, and through. And I'm going to do that back and forth 3 or 4 times. This will be number 3. And maybe one more. And then I will get my light source and burn the ends. They're going to need to be trimmed a little bit though. Just trim these a little bit. I'm going to get my light source out and burn all my ends. Let me trim these a little bit too. All right, I've already burned them. This was what I used for my light source. If I was doing a whole bunch of these, I would just use a candle. But just any light source will do. Careful, don't burn yourself. But anyway, we're all done here. And here is my necklace that I am really excited to wear. Now, I have been wearing this one for the past probably about 5 months, just about nonstop. It's been to the beach. I haven't been able to go to the pool with it yet, but I do shower with it. It's just a little glass bead that reminds me of a sea glass, and it just adjusts, and I can wear it like as a choker or a longer necklace. And this is a new one. You can see the difference in the cord. It's the very same cord. It does soften up a little bit, but it holds up really, really well. And I may be wearing these together sometimes. I'd like to thank y'all for joining me, and I hope you have a great day. This is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo signing out for now. Bye-bye.